Greetings and welcome to Age of Wonders 4. This will be my Draconian Order playthrough.
Choose your destination.
We are going to use my custom world, Giavita. I've made a few changes to it, so I'll go through those real quick. Of course, it is set for continents and dragon territories. With the massive underground and the wondrous past, I added 2 more miscellaneous traits. Regenerating infestations. Beasts and monsters never cease nesting in this realm. Infestations emerge in unoccupied provinces every 10 turns. And death casting. The mortals of this realm are infused with its magic, releasing it on their deaths. Units grant their owner 10 combat casting points on death. Let's set the distance to far. We're going to use the maximum number of players. So there will be 10 players in the game. We'll go to advanced settings and select
Your journey starts here.
our custom faction, the Draconian Order. Disable custom rulers so they aren't using mine. Under game flow, game speed will be slow. I'm going to set the world threat to low because we are doing a slow game speed. I don't want the world threat cranking up faster than I can develop. So we'll start out with it as low. Enemy armies are reduced in strength and increase in strength over time at a slow rate. Free cities and infestations will send fewer attacking armies. Keep all of the victory conditions on and set the score when to slow. And disable automatic hero resurgence. A new ruler emerges. Explore your surroundings and expand your domain. Prepare to face your rivals and become the master of this realm. Your choices will shape this new Age of Wonders. So we have the Tome of Souls. Bodies are frail, yet strong is the will of all souls to cling to life. Grant them their desire. Craft them vessels of rotten flesh and bone. Even the fiercest foe shall serve your wishes when raised from the battlefield. For death reaches all, and in death you will dwell. That's by Nokram, the Cursed Hand. Of course, we have our humans with fast recuperation and adaptable, and we are mystics with powerful evokers and shadow walkers. And of course we start with the Wayfinder enchantment, which Shadow Walkers will have as automatically cast with no maintenance. Cosmic Ablation, which is a single target attack that does 10 lightning, 10 fire, and 10 frost damage. And Soulfire, which is an AoE, it does 10 frost and fire to the enemy, and half that to every adjacent unit. But this spell also requires souls to fuel. Now, before you go wandering around and grabbing some of these nodes, like this knowledge stash, and if there was other stashes, like production stashes out here, it's always a good idea to set your first research and your production on your town. So our research choices are the Enchanted Crow Companion. That would boost the vision range of our scouts. The Bone Golem, which is a shock unit, cavalry basically for undead. And Soulbind Army, which is a world spell I would cast on enemy armies to make every one of them soulbound in the next coming battle. And when they are soulbound, we get extra souls from killing them. I think I'm going to start with Bone Golem. Oh, and on the research screen, in 4 research cycles, we will get to choose a new tome to add more research options. Now we'll go to our city. It is called Lorwell. Now it's a good idea to kind of plan out your cities. Get a good idea of what is in the vicinity around your cities. We have, let's zoom further out. We have a gold vein. We have pastures. We have an iron deposit. So we can eventually have 2 mines here. Now if we zoom back in, we have forest. We can have farms, foresters, and quarries. So we do have a lot of rocky terrain for building quarries, and we have the access to the foresters in the initial area, and we'll see more of what we can get later. Now the reason I mention this is as you upgrade, like this storehouse, the next tier for the storehouse is a granary, and then it will go to estate hall, and finally to farmers guild. Now you can only have 1 guild per city. So when it comes to specializing your city as to whether it is food production, draft, gold, mana, research, or what it actually produces, you can only have 1 actual specialty. And so you kind of want to think about how you can go about getting that. Well, for the Farmers Guild, I would need 4 farms to be able to have a Farmers Guild. For things like the Shrine, you're going to end up needing conduits. You need 2 conduits. For the Vendor, it will come all the way up to be a Merchant's Guild, and you have to have 2 mines. And to boost it, you need farms. But one thing about these boosts I want to mention, they reduce the city's cost by 30%. Okay, let's look at the Vendor, the first one. If I build 1 farm, I will get a 30% reduction on this, which would end up being about, actually it would be about 60 production, which would drop it down to about 135, or let's just say 140. And I generate 21 production per turn. So it says I could finish this in 10 turns. Now, if I dropped it down to about dropped it by about 60, it would knock 3 turns off of that. But here's another thing to consider. If instead of shooting for a farm, just to get that 3 turns knocked off of this boost, if I instead had shot for a quarry, which adds 5 more production, this thing would have 26 production instead of 21. And with 26 production, it would actually finish this in 8 turns instead of 10. So that would knock 2 turns off of it, having the other one. So sometimes it's not really worth pursuing just for the boost. So I shouldn't consider building 4 farms just because I eventually want to boost the final thing here if I wanted to make this a Merchant's Guild. I shouldn't consider building 4 farms just to get that boost. It's better off being a little bit more balanced in your approach to the city and building what you need. The boost is nice, but it is not something to pursue in and of itself. Now, another thing about that is I can change what any of my provinces are at any time. So let's say I did build this to be a farm to boost the Vendor, but then decided I would rather this be a forester. Well, I can click on this and switch it over to a forester. It would take 3 turns to shift that, but I don't have to find another province to be a forester, basically. But money is very important in this. All of my buildings require money. And the more higher in the tier the building is, the more gold it is going to require. This one eventually requires 420. So money is a very valuable resource. And I think that is what I'm going to pursue starting out here. While growth in this city would be nice, apart from population, there is another factor that limits how many provinces your city can have. And that is stability. Every province you add drops your stability by 5. So right now I have 10 stability. That makes me stable. That gives me a 5% bonus to production, draft, and food. If I build one province, I will drop to neutral with no bonuses. If I build 4 provinces total, I will be at -10 and be unstable, which drops all of my income. So you kind of want to balance your growth with how you can boost your stability. And after you get the town hall built, which you have to have 3 population to unlock, you get the line with the tavern and the bathhouse where you can boost stability. So you kind of want to pursue getting up to at least a town hall pretty quickly before you go spamming a lot of things, so you can add some stability to your city to support having the provinces. And this is expensive. It's 300 gold. So I am going to start with a vendor. And I believe I will probably also end up getting the market, because we are going to need a decent supply of gold income. It depends on how it goes. I kind of want to balance my incomes a little bit. But right now with one city, I need more gold income. Otherwise, I can't support more units very well and build on cities. And I would like to expand my empire to have more than one city. Now, we are going to recruit 3 skeletons and rush the first one. Actually, I may hold off on rushing the first one. It's only going to be 2 turns that I'm saving for 70 gold. I do get 64 a turn, but I think I can wait the 2 turns. Now that we've got that started, let's have a look at our army. Now, our army starts with an extra scout, which I'm going to separate out. Scouts are not really that great in combat. I mean, they have these very weak cosmic bolts. As you see, they do 1 point of damage of 3 different types. The strength of my scout is exploring and finding things for me, basically. And my scouts are invisible. They have universal camouflage, so sending them off by themselves to do some exploration is great. I don't want them in my army. Even though as they gain experience, they will gain tiers. All that really does is help their combat. It doesn't really, because the evasion and the sprint only will help it when it's in combat. It will not affect it on the world map, which is where I'd like to keep it outside of combat, basically. So we're going to separate out this scout. And that is a knowledge stash. A bunch of dusty scrolls and scribbled parchments that hold all kind of secrets. So we'll get a little bit of knowledge. 49. I believe that dropped a turn off of that. Let's see, we have a marauder army over here. What's up this way? Okay, that's guarded by an army, and let's check back down this way. Was this guarded? A mana stash. I can head over that way to grab that one next. With my other scout, I'll explore along down this road. Got a few weak armies down here. This one is guarding what? A gold stash. That's just over the pasture. And that's just over a node. And that's over a war-torn banner on an ancient battlefield. Moving on to it grants units of experience. Okay. Now, another thing about our armies is you can only have a total of 6 units in a army stack. So you kind of want to plan ahead. Now, there are, I think, 7 different types of units. You have polearm units, which are really good at stopping shock units and are good against cavalry and large targets. You have fighter units, which are just your basic melee types. You have shield units, which are your defensive types. They're really good at boosting allies around them. And then you have skirmisher units that can move past enemies without getting like attacks of opportunity, and they're really good at flanking opponents. And shock units, which are really good at an initial charge, and kind of heavy hitting units that don't really get counterattacked too often. And then you also have ranged units, support units, and battle mage units, which is another form of range. Range units are generally physical attack. Battle mages are non-physical ranged. So actually, that may be 8 types, come to think of it. But it's more types than you can fit in an army. So it's a good idea to kind of plan out a balanced army. Right now, my leader is a caster type. Plus, he will also be casting spells as I give him levels. He'll get other abilities that I would want to be using. So he's kind of going to be a caster type. And so I'm building those 3 skeletons to travel with him, so he has some heavy melee. And I think I'm just going to use the 2 support to kind of keep my melee holding it off. I'm probably going to break this Arcanist and this Arcane Guard out for a separate army for another hero or just to protect a town. But right now, until I get my skeletons built, they will travel with me. And the first thing we're going to do is go attack these weak marauders right here. They're really close to my town. We have a Dawn Defender, that is a shield unit, blocking and protecting allies. And a Dusk Hunter, which is a ranged unit. And I currently have 1 melee, 2 ranged units, and 2 support units, but I think we can handle this fight. All of my units that add to my combat casting got me all the way up to 50 combat casting points right off the bat. But I can't cast spells the first turn. Now, they can only get to here. But they are only going to advance enough to wherever I am, I could only get 1 shot at them moving up. But I know I can advance to about... Actually, I could advance all the way up here. If they wanted to close the distance, fine. Their ranged unit will advance up and shoot if it can. But we'll advance up our Arcane Guard as far as we can go and defend. And then move our support units up as far as they can go and defend. Lucky Sunflowers, those boost your crit chance, I believe. Be a good spot for these guys to be. See, there's some over here, aren't there? Lucky Sunflowers give you lucky, which gives you a 10% crit chance. I'm kind of a caster. I think I would rather hang back. I'm gonna stop right here is where I think I'm gonna stop. Yeah, see, they only moved up 1 space each because that means I would only get 1 hit at them for retaliation. And they are out of range of my casters. My casters would have to move up a little bit to be able to shoot them. But I can still make it. Let's see. Yeah, if I move up any, they're going to get 2 hits on me with their attack. That's fine. What I'm going to do is actually move up here. I'm going to force them to move so they don't get the full 3. I'm going to face this way. And I'm actually going to enter defensive mode because that does give me defense. Right now, my defense of 1 is 10% damage reduction. If I do defense mode, I now have 27% damage reduction. So if this guy does move up, he's going to suffer damage. Now, he could flank around this way and try and get at my casters. Let's see, how far can he go now? So right here, he would still be able to get at my casters. Where I have a 90% chance to hit him. I think that might still be worth it. Yeah, I can move up my caster there. and start with bolting him. But before I do anything else, we need to cast a spell so that my characters with my ability that these pikemen also have, that gives us a bonus to our damage output when we have casted a spell. So we're going to start out with a Cosmic Ablation, and we are actually going to hit the ranged unit. Star Blades. So now they all have Star Blades, they'll be doing a little bit more damage. Now I think I can take a hit better than these guys, but I'm going to move right here. Yeah, either place I would actually still get 2 shots, but I'm going to move right here. I have a 100% chance to hit. 80% chance to hit them, but I could almost wipe them out. Yeah, I did a good job against them. Then I can move this guy up here and ward. And move this guy right here to protect this guy's flank a little bit. And ward. I mean, I could have made a shot, but I would rather ward to give some bonuses to these guys. Yeah, and I'm also glad I went into defensive mode instead of shooting, so I took less damage. Now we're going to start with another spell. And I'm going to hit these guys this time. Now we've got additional Star Blades up. Actually, I can kill them with my caster. And that would allow my spear unit to go after and kill this unit. So that was a fairly easy fight. I probably overthought it, but I enjoy doing that. And I don't believe any of them, if we look at their experience, none of them gained a rank. They came pretty close, but if they have gained a level, or I mean a rank, you will see this animating to let you know they ranked up. Now my battle mage units and support units started with 1 extra rank to begin with because of my options. We only got 2 souls out of that. Now that just showed a rank up because this gave experience, so now all of these units have ranked up. The Soothers and the Arcanist are now veterans, and my Arcane Guard is now a soldier, and I have gained a level with my ruler. Now there are 4 categories I believe you can pick in: warfare, battle magic, support. Okay, just 3 categories. Experienced leader is a pretty good one to pick early on, so that even if you are not fighting, the army with this hero gains experience every turn. And you can actually reset your skills for free the first time. After that, it would cost Imperium to further reset. So for the early game, if you were to pick experienced leader, it would be beneficial to help level up your units fairly quickly, and you could spec out of it later when you didn't feel you needed it. But I think I want to go for battle magic. I want to pick up Lightning Evoker right now. That gives me another attack. It takes all of my action, so I can't move if I use it. But it is a fairly powerful lightning attack. So that will give me Lightning Evocation, does about as much as my Magic Bolts. It has a range of 6 compared to the range of 4 I have here. Hits 3 targets and has a chance of making them electrified, so they take lightning damage every turn. And I think we will move on to clear out this, start heading that way. But yeah, since my hero is going to be kind of a battle mage, I don't really need the Arcanist. I will keep the 2 support units to support 3 skeletons. So I will be moving this Arcanist and this Arcane Guard to another army eventually. And I forgot to change the name of my city. I'm not sure how I feel about Lorewell. Now that I've got a little bit more visibility, we do have a mana node up here, so I could create a conduit or research. And it looks like there's another one down this way. I mean, I could specialize this as having a wizard's... take that off of there. I could specialize this as a mana producer and have a mage's guild, or as a research institute, as a scholars guild. But it also has access to mines, so I could just simply make this a merchant's guild. Let's go with now before I change the name, one other thing I want to mention is you do get access to special province types. We'll get access to them as soon as we hit Town Hall level 2 special province improvements. They can turn any province into a special province that can count as different types. And let's see, do I have access to this section yet? No, Empire Development is not available till turn 3, and that is where I would see my books, I believe. But if we go into the encyclopedia and go to the books, the tomes, general research, everybody has access to. We also have being a mystic. This gives us access to one of these special provinces, a mystic abbey. So it counts as a conduit. So I can effectively have 2 conduits in any area that has access to at least one right now, and later on I will probably get another one that would count as a conduit. Now these conduits will provide mana and knowledge per adjacent conduit or research post. So if I could cluster a few conduit types in a vicinity, I could get some serious bonuses. So right now the Mystic Abbey I think is the only one we have access to. The other tome we have is the Tome of... I'm looking for the tier 1 one we have. Tome of Souls. This does not give us access to a special province just yet. So right now that is the only special province we'll have access to is an additional conduit. Looks like we have a infestation over here. So I could go with the name Lorewell and turn this into a research area, but I think I want to call this, because I do kind of like the name for my cities. My capital will be Hell's Gate, and it's going to be kind of balanced starting out, I think, but it is also going to provide a lot of coin. Because right now, that's the only way I have to get coin, is the one city I have. We need to have it be our provider. Alright, that's on gold. And we have a support unit, a bannerman, and a scout unit. This is a relatively weak army. We're going to move down here and clean them out. And we are close enough that our scout can join into the battle. Right over here, you see that little radius is where armies can join in. It'll give our scout some experience. Might as well. What would you know? He might be able to assist a little bit, even though he's weak. I mean, they've just got a scout and a support. It's not like they're a huge threat. We're just going to charge them straight up. I'm going to move this scout over this way. I don't think I'm going to waste mana casting spells on these guys. Let's see, are you in range? You're in range. I'm going to hit them with my lightning bolt, I think. Alright, so this unit is electrified, the scout. The support unit kind of got fairly well off, but we're going to come up here and take care of this support unit. And we're going to make sure that they can't flank my units. I want to make sure I'm facing this way. Now, he cannot get around to the flanks. He can get around to this flank on this unit. So let's make sure we move our other support unit up there. But first, let's move our scout. Actually, let's move our scout right there. And I don't really want to turn that way because they could actually flank me. I can move up here where I get the lucky bonus and start working on the scout. And move up this support unit here to ward everybody. Yeah, I'm not even going to waste mana on this fight. I don't think I'll need to. Alright, I need to keep this guy engaged so he has to take attacks to move away from me. My Arcanist can kill this unit. I missed. Alright, I was hoping to kill that unit. You know what? %50 chance of hitting. The Arcanist can't do that great of a job. I'm just going to have this Arcanist cast a heal on this one to give him some temporary points. I'm going to move my scout unit around here. Or actually, I have a 50% chance to hit from here. Yeah, I think I'll just start shooting, see if I can do some damage. And I should be able to melee this unit and take it out. So now all he has is his support unit. He just consumed that corpse for a little healing. Well, I think you're about to die. Let me go to melee, my melee attack, and move up and take care of this with a quick stab. I'm going to move around behind him over here. Didn't quite finish them off. Let's see, if I move here, they won't be able to do a damn thing, pretty much. Even though I'm not really able... I can still try and hit them. Because they don't control the area around them too well. So I can actually move up. Right here where you see the eyes, that's the direction he's facing. If I move here, I won't be able to attack, I don't think, because I will be in his zone of control. But right here, I would be able to. I've only got a 20% chance to hit, but I'm still engaging. And I can move this one around here. Eventually, I was going to land that 20%. I haven't had enough chances to try and make it. I got a 64 gold and 3 more souls. So there's an underground passage down this way. And an enchanted den. Bronze level Ancient Wonder, I might be able to clear it out. Let's see, this would add mana per quarry near the city. And it would also add Storm Scale Serpents and Plague Serpents to your Rally of Lieges. And it counts as a quarry. An ancient cavern that heralds from the time of this world's creation, during an era when dragons and giants molded the very lands into physical form. Within these natural sanctuaries, the first creatures found shelter as the world outside violently settled into place. To this day, the cave itself remains a sanctuary for those that are able to find their way to it. We'll also get mana and a mystery bonus out of exploring it. Alright, let's head over toward this underground passage. Oh, there's a watchtower. Let's go hit this watchtower before we explore that. And it looks like there's a neutral city down this way, I think. Let's check out this infestation and grab this mana stash. We have a dragon's lair right near my base, basically, my city. Now, one disappointment I have had in the sample games I have been playing, just trying to get familiar, is early in the game, and by early I think I've gotten to like turn 40 or 50, which is about a quarter of the way through a slow game. I have yet to see a dragon produced here, any sort of low-level dragon. It is always elementals being churned out of dragon's lairs, which I find a little disappointing. Because a dragon's nest is a sight that instills terror, awe, and many similar feelings one might have when in the presence of something deep and primal. Whether the inhabitant of the nest is an ancient dragon, born in the age of giants, or a younger wyvern, denizens of surrounding lands should beware, or better yet, flee. And it says a flight of mighty dragons has claimed the region. I kind of wish they had put in some low-tier dragons. Now, this is a tier 3 unit. I could see a young dragon being a tier 3 unit. I could even see some, like, hatchlings as tier 1s or tier 2s. So I don't understand why they didn't do some wyverns or really young hatchlings or something. Why am I not seeing them as units? Let's see, let's go to units or beasts. Let's look at the dragons. Tier 4 for a bone dragon. Bone wyvern, tier 2 unit. Let's do it this way. Okay, wyvern. Tier 3. A fire or a frost wyvern. They could have had a fire or a frost wyvern there. Let's look at dragon. Tier 4 and 5 units. Do they have any sort of hatchling? spider hatchlings. I don't understand why they couldn't have had young dragons. Let's look at the wyvern real quick. Oh, we're on a frost wyvern. Yeah, so apparently they don't have young dragons. Now, that is something they did have in previous versions of the game. I remember there was a Draconian race you could play, and you got low-tier little dragon hatchlings that would grow up. And I do not understand. I think maybe they're saving that for an expansion. Maybe one of the DLCs they will release will bring the Draconians back and the low-tier dragons. But for now, since Dragon Lair or Dragon Infestation was an option, they should have thought of that and added in the dragons to fuel these infestations instead of having to fill them out with elementals. So that is a gripe I will have right now. Got our first skeleton. Another ruler comes to threaten my empire. Just stay out of my way and I will stay out of yours. Emberkeep Tania Greyblood. We start with bad relations. They are neutral. Their race are the Ashen Fae. They are keen-sighted and have underground adaptation. They are barbarians, fabled hunters, and adept settlers. They are fanatic isolationists, a secluded ruler who values purity of mind and empire. They like empires without relationships with free cities. They like empires that trade grievances. They dislike empires that have many alliances or that have multiple races. Their strategies are isolation. They do not want to commit to relations and are reluctant to answer calls to war. They are wary of treaties. The ruler is not interested in having treaties with other rulers, making such trades more costly for the opposing side. They're reluctant to call another ruler to war and to answer incoming calls to war. The ruler favors exploiting all forms of resources near them and will hunt down pickups, marauders, and cities with their army. Captured cities will be migrated into their own population. They're also expansionist. They favor expanding their empire by building and absorbing cities. They focus on improving their cities and defending them. I'll be curious to see how they focus on defending them. That has been a failing in the Age of Empire series, in my opinion, is that the AI tends not to defend very well. Okay, so I think they just came out of this underground passage. I can't see down there. And if they control the bottom half of this passage and I try and move in, I will immediately enter their domains, I think. But let's hit this watchtower. Meeting hostile Thorn. Chiefess Jenna Skulltorcher of the Free City of Thorn greets you with hostility. We rat seafarers of Thorn will fight for our freedom and stand against anyone who threatens our free city, even when they are led by a shadow lord like you. The blood of invaders, thieves, and spies will nourish the fields. You are at war with Thorn. Why did I immediately start at war with them? They are Whiteborn, undead type unit, rodent-like beings whose groups are often referred to as mischiefs. They move with uncanny agility, much to the jealousy of other beings. They work together to bring down even the largest of foes. They believe one can only feel truly alive in the heat of battle and tend not to be hindered by ethical concerns. They are pioneers and settlers, founding cities wherever they go. They are experienced seafarers, sharing many stories of adventure, adventurous sailors, and sea monsters. They're barbarians. They are white-born frostlings. Oh, it's already a level 6 free city that was hostile to me. It cost me money to make peace. I'll stay at war with these guys if they're going to be that way. Found a very big hostile free city right off the bat of undead rats. Interesting. Alright, let's check the underground passage. Now, let's go down. Oh, I can see down here. If I enter, am I in somebody else's domain? Not yet. Okay, so there is their city. Stag Spear. So one thing I could do, it might end up annoying them. Is I could build an outpost in this vicinity to claim this underground passage. So it would be my territory, which would limit their surface expansion. They would pretty much have to expand underground. I mean, if they're going to be isolationist. Now, I do need to check here. Are there any claims here? Unclaimed wilderness. I already have a distant claim here. Oh, and it has fruit as well as the area. So that's a distant claim because it is 3 tiles from my city. I think this might actually be a good spot for an outpost. Just to kind of claim the underground passage. So let's head over this way and go ahead and start building an outpost. And we'll take out these marauders along the way, I think. I'll send my skeletons down to join me. Oh, this is a knowledge stash. We'll go ahead and snag it. There's a temple over here. Let's just skirt around this lair and see what's all around the lair. So let's attack these marauders. Actually, let's move the skeletons up next to us. I don't want to merge the army, or this army won't be able to move further. So we had a support unit and a fighter unit, a zealot and a chaplain. And they do a damage type I believe my skeletons are vulnerable to. See, if I look at the resistances of my skeletons. No, I'm not vulnerable to spirit. I thought I had a weakness to spirit, but I do not. But yeah, I believe they're doing spirit damage. We'll just move up. Oh, wait, those aren't the skeletons. Here are the skeletons. Yes, we are weak to fire and spirit. Those guys do spirit damage, their support unit. We'll try and bolster the resistance of our skeletons. I'm kind of tanky, so I don't mind moving up to the front line, plus I'm also pretty fast. Yeah, the AI likes to make you come to them. You know, I like to make them come to me too. Alright, we're going to create a choke point around here. they'll lose an attack. I would only get one attack if I went after them now, and then they'd be able to, on their turn, get 3 hits against me. But this would also end up engaging them. What I think I'm actually going to do is move up here. Their retaliation is more powerful than my strike. I'm going to defend. Now they are engaged, and I have bolstered my defenses with the Arcane Guard. I'm going to move over here with my skeletons and actually hit these guys because they don't have a retaliation. And now I'm going to cast a spell. They didn't have the bonus if I had cast a spell. I want to weaken their fighter unit. So yeah, I didn't attack with him, but I want them to have the Star Blades. Of course, these guys now also have Star Blades. If I get right here, yeah, then I can nuke these guys with 90% chance. Move up a support unit here to bolster their defenses. Move up my other support unit, and I will start nuking their support unit. And I'm going to stay right here and hit them with my lightning bolt. I got first strike at least. Now they did end up doing 21 to my 12, and of course he had to take damage to move away. Alright, we're going to start with a spell. We can kill their unit. And now this guy doesn't have retaliation. I can just move up and take him out. Now I'm getting sufficient mana. I can pretty much spam spells in combat until I run out of casting points. So we got a boatload of food to go back to Hell's Gate. And we got an Arcfire Orb. We also gained a level. Now let's compare this orb. We currently have a lightning orb, does 10 lightning damage. This would do 6 lightning, 6 fire. The melee strike is the same, the quick stab. I think we will use the Arcfire orb. It doesn't have any other effects other than doing a little bit more damage and splitting the damage types. Now I can pick up Distant Evocation. That will extend the range, so my magic bolts would have a range of 5 and my lightning would have a range of 6. Or since I do now have an Arcfire orb, let's also pick up Fire Evoker so that I am casting lightning and fire spells. And we're going to move to here so that I am in this district. Oh, this district has the option to become a conduit or thing. That may not be the district that I want to build the outpost on. Let's see, what about this district? This district has a mine. This one, yeah, I'm going to move down here and put my outpost in this district. Of course, that's also bordered on the people I'm at war with. That may be a bad idea. But we're going to do that anyway. We're going to move over here to start building our outpost. Now we have access to the Empire Development Tree. We have unlocked Knowledge Extraction, where we'll gain knowledge for heroes defeated in combat. Now the way you get this is your affinity. Every point of affinity is progress along this line. I'm getting 4 points per turn. here and 2 points here. And the total of all your affinities is how much you gain in the general line. And now we have access to see we started with the Tome of Souls we chose. We also start with general research. Everyone gets that. And the Mystic, because that is our culture. Alright, Hell's Gate can annex its first province. That would drop its stability, but it will also improve its ability to generate things I might need. I think I'm going to actually build a mine over here to really boost my gold output. See, I could also build the mine up here. That would give me a little bit of gold and more production, because it's an iron deposit. And gets me closer to up that way. Yeah, let's build this mine, because the production will help with the building of city structures. But it will still give me a little bit of gold as well. So we actually only ended up gaining 9 because we lost the 10% bonus because our stability dropped from stable to neutral. Nothing is on that food stash. I think I will start heading that way to snag that food stash. That will boost Hell's Gate by a chunk. Let's see, what do we need for the next population? We need almost 200. This is a food stash. It doesn't tell me how much I'm going to get out of it. Probably about 60, I would think. Alright, so we know that they dwelled down here. If we kind of cut them off this way, we're forcing them to expand underground, even though currently their heroes are up here running around. They're actually headed for that production stash. I think I'm going to start heading for this gold stash. Alright, so I do actually want to move over here. Now that I'm in this province, I can start building the outpost. It'll take 2 turns. And let's move back this way so we can merge up with our first skeleton unit and take on this marauder. Oh, well, apparently we used up all of our movement. Our second skeleton unit is ready. Let's move it down here. And we have our research, the bone golem. Advanced rights allow the creation of bone golem. These can be created in a city using souls or by fusing 2 skeleton units on the world map, casting a spell, basically. And the bone golem is a shock unit. Alright, Scroll of Attunement would give me Star Blades with all of my non-mystic units, which right now is just my skeletons. Soul Binders would give the ability to inflict Soulbound to a unit as well as more damage against Soulbound, but it will only affect my battle mages and support units. I think we'll research the magic shield so I could get bolstered defense and bolstered resistances in case I'm in a fairly tough battle. Alright, we do want our scouts... Oh, I meant to grab that gold. Oh, that was production, not gold. Okay, good. Yeah, we want our scouts to kind of keep an eye on Thorn. I need to know when they're sending armies my way. Oh, I meant to grab that food. We have another free city up this way, it looks like. Alright, we have had a rivalry declared on us by entertain a grave blood. This realm would be better off without the likes of you, Lucifer. I'm warning you, stay away from me and my people. So this will slowly decrease our relations. Any grievances we get against each other will be increased. Or any grievances I cause them will be increased. Alright, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. The AI is a little fickle, but one thing I would mention is these grievances allow you to justify your wars. If your war is not justified, it is an evil act, and it also hurts relations with a whole bunch of people and interferes with the income of your Imperium. Now, as you get grievances, and they are caused by trespassing, building on a province you have claims on, they can fabricate grievance or attack you. As you build grievances, you gain justification. Well, as your justification goes up, when you get up to minor, it's still an evil act to declare war. Once you're up to moderate, it's no longer an evil act, and declaring war boosts your Imperium income while the war is lasting. And major is a fully justified war. And both of these boost relations with your vassal cities. So you could just, if you wanted to play evil, just declare war whenever you want and not worry about it. And the AI makes it a little tempting. Right now, they probably have nobody defending their city. And as you see, their units are kind of staggering out. They've got a war shaman by itself. They've got a fury by itself. And I have seen in a few of my test games, one of their rulers running around by himself, no friendly units nearby, and it was not too far from a city that had no defenders. If I wanted to be evil, I had my full army with my ruler where I could have just jumped his hero immediately and then probably had enough movement to start laying siege to his city and wiped him out right off the bat. Alright, let's move these skeletons down here. Let's see, if I declare war on them, you see that red dotted outline? That's where my reinforcements will come from. So this guy doesn't have to be adjacent to me, he just has to be along the road. And he will be able to reinforce this battle. Occupational hazard. As your troops approach the band of mercenary guards, they raise the white flag. We were hired by a rich merchant to look after the mana node. The leader of the gang, a zealot, explains. We expected to protect it from roaming scoundrels, not against a full-fledged assault. Please accept our surrender and let us go. You vastly outnumber these guards. Do you let them leave the mana node without a fight? We have no quarrel with you. Leave in peace. But this is my territory. I don't want other people protecting nodes I have claims on. So this is a good character act. It will start boosting my alignment. And we got a little chunk of mana and a ring of resistance, which I will go ahead and equip. I don't have any other ring right now. Now I have started on the progress toward good with alignment. Right now I am still neutral. I need to have at least 10 points of good to become good, which will boost my relations with free cities that are not evil. And if you get all the way up to pure, pure good, you have to have 100 points of good. All right, let's head back this way to clear out this unit. We're going to have our scout just kind of sweep around here, see if we can get some visuals on Thorn. There's another underground passage. Doom Depth Trenches, a province of Thorn. That boosts mana and knowledge, and more mana and knowledge for each alignment level below neutral. Yeah, you are evil, aren't you? No, you're neutral. Don't understand why they don't like me so much. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll come back and get that food, but let's see if we can get... That's a free city I haven't quite met yet. Meeting Apprehensive Arculus. Sage Astronio Spellslinger of the free city of Arculus greets you nervously, as if they might invoke your wrath at any given moment. Well met, Lucifer Domine. We Draconian Order of Arculus have heard many stories about the torment of shadows you went through, and the power you willed. We hate to imagine what you forsook to earn it. Hopefully, you will curb any potential power-hungry tendencies as you make your way through these lands. So let's check out Arculus. It is a free city of my people, so we will give them a Whispering Stone and initiate negotiations. We'll have a pact of cooperation in 6 turns. We'll just start boosting relations with Arculus. Seems like they're up here in a mountain range, so that's my northern direction. And we will head back down here to get this food I forgot to grab. Oh, there's a Mark All as Seen button down here. So we have All Seeing. Free cities with Whispering Stones assigned provide you with vision range. Free cities or vassals with a Whispering Stone also grant us 10 knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this one. And the one we got here is bonus combat casting points and world map casting points. We also got access to basic seafaring. But I want to save up some more Imperium because I do want to turn this outpost I'm building into a city when it is formed. So we have our vendor. Our mana is starting to get a little low. I also would like some production bonuses here. So we're going to start working on the Evocator's Abode. It gives us mana, draft, and production here in this city. Alright, our outpost is completed. Arculus in peril. The kind sage Astronio Spellslinger of Arculus appears before you with a gaunt face. Noble Shadow Lord Lucifer Domine, a dark era has befallen Arculus. My people are famished. The harvest have failed and our storehouses lie empty. Mothers cannot feed their children and my city guard is mutinous. I fear many of my proud citizens will starve before this sad time is over. Please, O Shadow Lord, will you share some of your prosperity with my starving city? So growth in Hell's Gate would be blocked for only 5 turns if I help them. And we will gain relations with them quicker. Now this is a risky one. It does it based on the strength of my affinity. Right here it's saying I only have a 50% chance of success. And then of course I could just say to hell with them. But yeah, we will help them out. Sure, it'll block growth in Hell's Gate for 5 turns. 5 turns doesn't really bother me too much. Hell's Gate will help you through this famine. Yep, I'm sure you want food straight out of Hell's Gate. My alignment has changed from neutral to good. I get a bonus relation with free cities and rulers that are neutral or better, and random events that occur have a 10% chance to be positive. 10% extra. Our outpost has founded. Now before we upgrade this, right now I don't have the Imperium to do it anyway. we are going to start on a work camp. That allows us to claim an additional province. And I do want to claim this province with the passage. So we're immediately going to start on this work camp. And I'm going to, let's move this skeleton closer. And my other skeleton is up. And we are going to clear out this node. And apparently the skeleton was not close enough to actually join in. So it's just going to be me versus 2 Lightbringers. These are battle mage units. And 1 Fury, which is a ranged unit. So they have no melee units. That's unfortunate for them. Well, we're just going to charge up there. We've got to cover the ground as best as we can. Now, we can use the trees for cover. They give us obscured, which makes us harder to hit with range attacks. We'll move over here. I can actually get in range to shoot something. Oh! They tried to convert me. They mind-controlled my pikemen. I can fix that. Alright. I forgot to notice that there are sometimes battlefield effects. This one is distracting whispers. Every 2 turns, one of the defending units has a 90% base chance of suffering distracted until the end of combat. All attacks targeting this unit are flanking attacks. Now it says one of the defending units. They are the defenders. I attacked. Arcane Guard is affected by mind controlled. It does not have a duration. Spells. They have frost weakness, but I would actually do more to their archers, but I do want to take out these units. And unfortunately I just boosted my Arcane Guard. But let's have a look at our heal. No, that does not purge effects. I don't think I have an ability that will purge their effects. So I need to do my best to take them out. I have a 90% chance moving all the way up there, but I'd only get 1 shot. But yeah, I pretty much got to close the distance. Alright, let me move here. Actually, I can stay where I am. I need to do a little bit of healing on my main guy. I'm just going to ignore my own unit right now and charge up here and defend. I'm going to move away. They're going to get an attack against me. That's fine. And I need to put some distance between me and them. So I'm going to head all the way over here. I only get one shot now, but I'm out of range of him.
Oh.
Let's see, where all can you move? Right now you can get to any of my casters. You would end up flanking them.
Uh-huh.
So I need to keep you from being able to move around. I'm going to have to come in here and defend and take a hit with my support unit. Or just make you maneuver like that. Well, these guys are really effective against my undead. We need to outdistance these guys, basically. Because I don't want to have to kill my own unit because they're mind-controlled. Let me move over here. I am going to hit them. The fire would do a decent amount. The lightning could get them electrified. See, the fire, it's not telling me what its effect is. It has a chance to cause them to be burning. But yeah, let's hit them with the lightning. We took out one of them. That had an effect when it died. Ah, it was the one that had converted my guard. So my guard is now mine to control again. So we need to get over here and engage these people in melee. We're going to pull back with this unit. Pull back with this unit and heal them. And pull up with this unit and ward. Ah, they got my Arcanist. Well, I'm going to hit them with a fire evocation. I've also set fire to the squares they are in. It doesn't look like the fire has stayed in the other squares. So this unit is going to die from being on fire. And also electrified. This unit is both burning and electrified, so it's going to suffer 16 points a turn. I only need to do about 14 to it. I think I can actually kill him with my spears right now. Yes. And I could just end the turn and let that guy burn to death. While it sucks losing a unit, sometimes you just can't always save all your units. I did get Veteran with my Arcane Guard and Soldier with my Skeleton out of that. And I could retry the battle, but that worked out. Got a chunk of food. Now, growth here was blocked for 5 turns. So that chunk of food probably didn't... is just going to be stocked there? I don't know. There's an overall cap of 30 population, it shows. Alright, so we are going to move back down here and let these first skeletons merge with us. Oh, he can't move anymore this turn. Let's check out this underground passage. There's a Pantheon shrine down here. Now this bedrock, you can't do anything with. These sectors that are bedrock, there's not really much you can do. But this earth, you can excavate out with when you get excavation as a skill. Well, there's a road here. It's actually a railroad. Let's go along it. Looks like it ends at this Pantheon shrine. Right, I could finally get this food, but right now growth is blocked. I think the food may still stockpile, but there's no real rush on getting the food now since my growth is blocked. We'll just go back to exploring. Alright, we're going to pick up this skeleton. And I think we're actually going to send our arcane pikemen away and pick up this other skeleton. Yeah, let's just head back out of the passage. And just continue scouting around down here. Keeping an eye on Thorn. Oh, we have a chest, a cache containing an item. We got leather armor. We'll go ahead and equip that. We didn't have chest armor. And as you see, even though my hero was nowhere near here, you're able to equip the items instantaneously, pretty much. Oh, Ashen Ruins up this way. Another bronze ancient wonder that gives gold. Ruins of a massive stronghold dating back to an age when the first civilizations made a stand against rampant gargantuan monsters and magical storms. Although battered, its weathered walls still offer a degree of protection to those within, as well as those nearby during times of strife. This one, boost based on quarries, can be set as a unit deploy location and gives us the Brewer Ogre and the Butcher Ogre. We're going to head back this way, because I think I want another outpost near this enchanted den, and then I can explore that enchanted den. Although, maybe I should come up here and deal with this dragon's lair before it becomes active. Well, I'm back on the road now. I can kind of zip up there fairly well. We are now in a pact of cooperation with the Free City of Arculus. We'll have a pact of loyalty in 3 turns. And we can now trade with them. They have a focus crystal. Units gain 10% more experience. It cost me 10 gold to trade for that for 15 turns. Yeah, let's trade for the focus crystal. When a geode of crystallized astral essence forms above ground and is touched by starlight, it splits like an earthen blooming plant. The newly exposed glistening crystal within is highly magical and infuses its bearers with arcane power. Edward Portsmouth, advanced reports on mana infusion. Yeah, we will send these guys back to Hell's Gate for now. When I get another hero, this will kind of be the start of their army, or the arcane pikemen. This is unguarded, a production stash. Before I grab that, let's go ahead and queue up another production. Yeah, our mana is really dwindling. Let's queue up the shrine. 62 production. Oh, there's their army. They have a bunch of Tier 1 units. I'm not sure exactly where they're headed. There's another one. They may be going for my outpost. I think I may need to pull back over here. We're about to see if they're about to sack my outpost. Had a small monster den pop up over here. And another infestation popped up there. We have a small monster den up that way. Alright, yeah, I'm going to pull back since they've got armies in the vicinity. I need to start getting in range of my outpost over here. And I think I should probably start training additional units to defend this city. Let's get another Arcane Guard. I'll just start with 2 Arcane Guards right now, and I'm not sure what the next hero is going to be. He may be a melee unit, and that should be sufficient. And I also need to cast a spell. I think I probably will end up training another skeleton eventually. Right now, I'm going to cast Create Bone Golem. And turn 2 of my... and it took the experienced one. I probably should have moved the experienced one out and then had the Bone Golem created from the 2 inexperienced units, but oh well. So we now have a Bone Golem in this army. The outpost has got its work camp. I can claim a nearby province. I want to claim this one. And let us claim it as a conduit, I think, to boost our mana. And we also have the Starflower here now. An enchanting bloom that upon consumption encourages cooperation in those who indulge in its succulent harvest. Often used as a treat during negotiations to bring about a fruitful outcome for all. My Whispering Stone will grant an extra point of allegiance. Julia, House of Eniok, personal journal from the First Age. So now I control this exit out of here, and I have claims all around it. We have completed research on Magic Shield. We have access to the Enchanted Crow, Soulbind an entire army, or Soul Overflow, which is a friendly buff that gives them more hit points, more max hit points, not necessarily a heal. Removes their negative status effects and gives them 1 level of strengthened. I want that one just in case I have another unit that gets coerced or charmed. I have a spell that can neutralize it. Alright, we are going to set these on guard because he's pretty much going to stay here just in case the Dragon's Lair sends units this way. We'll follow this road back around the mountain. Gets us closer to, we have another small monster den over here. And we will move up over here so we can kind of keep an eye on their units. I think they're going for the monster den. But it's been 10 turns. That was the end of our 10th turn. We haven't actually clicked end turn yet. So we'll call this an episode. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.